but Jason, homes always sell here.
Most people hire a realtor believing one simple thing: if they list their home, it will sell. That assumption feels reasonable. It's how real estate is usually talked about. I'm Jason Anson, a realtor on Vancouver Island, and I live on that stretch of shoreline behind me called Sassinos Point in Yubo. That's where I learned that listing a home doesn't guarantee an outcome unless you're priced right. Over the past 12 years, the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board records show that about 48 lakefront homes come to the market on Cowichan Lake each year. On average, 26 of them sell. Those aren't estimates, they're observed outcomes, which means listing a lakefront home here comes with just over a 50-50 chance of selling it in any given year. That is what the data actually says, and it just isn't what people expect to hear. Most homeowners are never told that. They hire a realtor expecting a sale, and when a home doesn't sell, it doesn't feel like a statistic, it feels like a disappointment. Sometimes the price never reflected how buyers were actually behaving. Sometimes the seller was anchored to a number that felt right but wasn't supported by the actual market value. And sometimes no one slowed the process down enough to explain what the data was really saying. Over the years, I've never heard a buyer say, "You have the best marketing material. I'm going to pay you $50,000 more." Good marketing matters, and it does help a home make a strong first impression, and it earns attention. But it doesn't set the price. Buyers do. Price is the force that actually moves a home, and everything else works in service of that reality. At some point, I stopped thinking of real estate as a sales job, and I started thinking about it as a probability problem. When I did, outcomes became more predictable, and that's why you hire a professional. On Cowichan Lake, about half of the listings don't sell in any given year. That's the baseline environment, and my clients aren't immune to that reality. They're just positioned differently inside it. When homeowners work with me, the goal isn't hope or exposure. It's to land deliberately in the half of the market that actually trades. That means pricing in a way buyers recognize as truthful early enough for momentum to form before time works against the listing. I don't promise guarantees because I don't control the market. What I do control is whether a home enters the market aligned with reality or fighting it. Over time, that difference shows up in completed sales, not explanations. Homes don't sell because they're listed. They sell when pricing, timing, and buyer psychology align, often briefly and to someone paying attention when that window opens. For a long time, many homeowners believed pricing a home was simple. You looked at the assessed value, added 10 or 20%, and trusted the market would meet you there. That approach worked for an entire generation, especially when information moved slowly and buyers had limited ways to challenge the numbers. But that world is gone. Today's buyers arrive with public sales data, pricing history, and AI tools that test every assumption. And yet, I still see homes sitting for years. Not because they weren't well marketed, but because the price was built on a belief that the market no longer supports. That disconnect has only widened as the system on the other side has changed too. BC Assessment now relies on AI-driven mass appraisal software to model value at scale. Powerful, but it doesn't think the way homeowners do, and it doesn't behave the way the market does. If you're still relying on an old rule of thumb, you're not just out of date, you're misaligned with how value is now being generated and tested. I go much deeper into how the system works, where it breaks down, and how it collides with real-world market behavior in a separate podcast series for people who want to explore it further. But you don't need that detail to work with me though. But if you're the kind of person who likes to understand what's happening under the hood, the link is on the screen and in the video description for you to explore later. In a world where anyone can pull data online, the real value isn't information, it's context. It's understanding how assessments are built, how buyers interrogate price, and how those systems collide in the real world for sellers. That's where experience matters. Not guessing, not pushing, but knowing how value actually is being formed, challenged, and proven in today's world. When people start thinking about what comes next, the stakes change. Property taxes, lifestyle, healthcare access, and long-term stability begin to matter more than chasing the highest number. What my clients want isn't hype, it's confidence. That's why I've also built a separate series focused on living on Vancouver Island.
Living on Vancouver Island, where your adventure awaits.
How housing, taxes, lifestyle, and long-term planning intersect when people start thinking about what comes next. It's optional, but it's there for people who want a broader lens. The link's on the screen and in the description if that's useful. I don't just help people buy or sell a home, I help them buy with clear-eyed pricing, protect them while they own it by keeping the numbers honest, and guide them when it's time to sell. That continuity, buying, protecting, and selling, is rare. And it's what allows people who do business with me to plan with confidence instead of reacting to surprise. If you work with me, you don't just get help buying or selling a home, you get someone who understands how markets behave, how systems fail, and how to stay on the right side of both. Because in the end, the most important thing usually isn't the destination, it's knowing the odds and having someone beside you who understands them. If you're looking to buy or sell, you can text or call me at 250-252-SOLD. You can also follow along here on my site, my social media, or sign up for my newsletter as well. The links are in the description. Go ahead and start wherever you're comfortable. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
Jason Anson Personal Real Estate Corporation wants to see you living where you love.